Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS classes. In this lecture, we are going to see current affairs of 5th April 2021. In this lecture, we are going to discuss 7 topics which are very much relevant to UPSC. So let's get started with our discussion and let us see first article. Title says Sukma encounter, toll touches 22, shark cuts short campaign. So this article mainly talking about Naxalite area, okay, that is Sukma here. So this article mainly talking about some operation which is done by this CRPF here, okay. So in this encounter there are about 22% who lost their life. So this article will be important regarding internal security, which comes under GS paper 3. So now let us have a detailed discussion on this topic, and this topic will be very much important regarding mains point of view. So if you see context, it mainly says that a day after the encounter between Central Paramilitary Forces, okay, and Maoist, okay. So between this Central Paramilitary Forces and Maoist, there is one encounter like operation that had happened, okay. So this encounter that happened in Sukma, which is located in Chhattisgarh, and in this event that led to toll of 22 persons and one is missing and 31 other people they are injured in this event. So if you see some details here, Maoists they were trying to disrupt construction of road. So that construction of road which is happening at Silchar Jajargunda, okay. So because of this, joint team of Chhattisgarh police includes District Reserve Guard, Special Task Force, Central Reserve Police Force. They went for combining operation in the southwestern region. So this is some important thing that you should remember. And now let us see some facts regarding this, okay, that is Sukma district. So where is this Sukma district located? So this Sukma district located southernmost, okay, southernmost district of Chhattisgarh. So it is located in Chhattisgarh and it is one of southernmost district of Chhattisgarh, and it is located in Bastar region. It is known for tribal culture, and this region mainly inhabited by Gonds and as well as other tribals. And this district mainly carved out of this Dantewada in year 2012. And this Sukma district boundaries with other states like we can say Odisha, Telangana and as well as Andhra Pradesh. So if you're talking about one important river which mainly flows through this district, that is river Sabari. Okay, district, it is one of least developed district in India, and also it is one of severely affected by Naxalism or Maoism. So in this context, I will advise you need to refer one important topic, that is Red Corridor. So I also tried to attach a map here. So this region which comes under this Red Corridor, okay. So this region mainly comes under this Red Corridor, which mainly includes states of Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Jharkhand, Bihar, okay. So these are regions mainly affected by Naxalites. And now let us see next article. Title says amid virus surge, Russian vaccine may get the nod. So this article mainly talking about this Sputnik 5 vaccine. So now let us try to understand this article in a great detail. So this article will be important regarding GS paper 2 under health. And you can expect prelims based question regarding this Sputnik, okay. And now first let us see context. Here if you see in this second wave of coronavirus, so we are seeing there is increased number of cases recorded daily. So yesterday it recorded about 1,03,790 COVID-19 cases that are detected across our country. So in this context, so we have only 2 vaccines which got emergency use authorization from Drug Controller General of India. So those 2 vaccines include Covaxin and Covishield, right? So because of increasing number of cases day by day, so we need to increase our vaccination capability. But if you're talking about this manufacturing, so regarding this manufacturing, we have some glitches, right? So because of this, we need to take other vaccines which are present in other countries to increase our vaccination drive, right? So because of this, now Russia's vaccine, that is Sputnik 5, may be cleared under this emergency use authorization by Drug Controller General of India within 10 days. So this is context. And now let us see some details which are highlighted in this article. So recently, high-level meeting which held. So this high-level meeting headed by our Prime Minister, and this meeting reviewed situation of ongoing vaccination program, and this meeting finally concluded that there is spike in cases. So the reason might be people, they are not complying with COVID-19 appropriate behavior. So because of this reason, there might be increasing number of cases. So this is conclusion made by this high level meeting. So if you see some important details here. So on April 1st, Reddy's laboratory, which is conducting some clinical trials of this Russian vaccine, that is Sputnik 5. So this Russian vaccine denied authorization by Drug Controller General of India, because here DCGI mainly asked this Reddy's lab for more data on vaccine efficacy, vaccine stability. So because of this authorization mainly stalled for this Sputnik 5 on April 1st. And now we are going to expect emergency authorization will be given by DCGI to this Sputnik also. So now let us try to talk about some facts regarding this Sputnik. So if you are talking about this Sputnik 5, it is developed by Gamaleya Research Institute of Epidemiology and Microbiology. So this vaccine, it is a 2-dose of adenovirus vector based vaccine. So already we talked about number of times regarding this adenovirus. So this adenovirus, it is commonly cold causing virus in chimpanzees, and it contains double-stranded DNA. So because of this presence of this double-stranded DNA, we are using this adenovirus as a vector to transmit this antigen particles into humans to generate antibodies against it, right? So because of this, we can see this adenovirus, which is mainly weak adenovirus. Because of this, whenever this adenovirus enter into body, it will not cause any other disease. And if you are talking about this Sputnik 5, it is very much similar to design of AstraZeneca's Covishield. And reported efficacy of this vaccine is about 91%. And this vaccine also approved in more than 59 countries also. And if you see some challenges which are posed in this article here, is first and foremost one is storage. So if you are talking about this Sputnik 5 vaccine, so we can available in 2 forms. So it can available in liquid form, and it can be also available in freeze dried version. So if you want to store this liquid version of this Sputnik 5, we need to be stored at -18 degrees Celsius. And regarding this freeze dried version, it can be stored in 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. So because of this, we need to enhance our cold storage management, mainly for transport of these vaccines. Okay, so this is one important problem or challenge regarding this regarding this Sputnik 5 vaccine. Okay, so this is about this article. And now let us see next article. Title says another batch of Rafale jets to fly by mid-May. So this article mainly talking about Rafale, okay, Rafale jets. So this article will be important regarding science and technology and also defense, which comes under GS paper 3. So regarding Rafales, you can expect some prelims based questions, and this article also important regarding mains point of view. So regarding mains, you need to see what are controversies regarding this Rafale jets, okay, procurement from France. So now let us try to understand this article in a great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that India will receive another 8 to 9 Rafale jets from France by mid-May. So what is context here? India will going to receive another 8 to 9 Rafale jets from France by mid-May here. So because of this, whenever we are getting this 8 to 9 Rafale jets from France by mid-May, we are going to complete first squadron of fighters in Indian Air Force. And if you see some details regarding this article, it mainly says that with this induction, which mainly said to complete first squadron in our Indian Air Force. Okay, in our Indian Air Force, we have currently 14 jets. Okay, so in this context, our Indian Air Force, it is all set to operationalize second squadron at Hazmira, which is located in state of West Bengal later this month. after we are getting this 8 to 9 Rafale jets, we are going to complete our first squadron and we are going to prepare for our second squadron. Okay, and next important thing is IAF induced the batch of 5 Rafales in September 2020. So first batch of Rafales we got in year 2020 in September, and finally we had contract from France. We had contact about 36 Rafale jets, and the cost here is about 7.87 billion. Okay, and this agreement signed in year 2016, but now in September 2020 we got this first batch here. So because there is lot of controversy that revolved around this Rafale deal. And now let us see some facts regarding this Rafale jets. So this Rafale jets, which is one of state-of-art 4.5 generation, and this Rafale jets, they can reach almost double speed of sound. So we can see top speed of this Rafale jet is about 1.8 Mach, that is 1.8 times speed of sound. Okay, so it can be have some multi-role capabilities like electronic warfare, air defense, ground support, in-depth strikes. So these are some important capabilities. Okay, so these are some important things that you should remember regarding this article. And now let us see next article. Title says joint efforts needed for peace. So this article mainly talking about Indo-China border issue. Okay, boundary issue or border issue. So as we know, we are having boundary issue with China in 3 segments, right? We have in western sector, in central sector, and also eastern sector. So eastern sector we have dispute in Arunachal Pradesh area. In central sector we have dispute in Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh area. And in western sector we had dispute at line of actual control, right? So already we know about what is happening across this LAC, that is line of actual control. So in this line of actual control, so there is military standoff that happened since April 2020 onwards, right? So because of this military standoff, we went for number of rounds of talks with China, and finally we came up with one agreement, and we came up with this engagement in Pongyong So Lake area. But we already have some issues regarding other areas also, like we can say Gogra hot spring area, Dipsang plain area, and Demchuk area. So these are some important areas we need further disengagement. So this article mainly talking about what can be done here. So whatever points now we are going to discuss, that can be written directly when you are writing mains answer. So now let us see this article in a great detail. So this article mainly talking about Indo-China border issue. So if you see context, it mainly says that Chinese envoy to India. India and China, they need to strengthen confidence building measures in border areas. So in border areas, we need to strengthen our confidence building measures. So in this, whenever there is anything which happened in border crisis, we need to avoid some issues also. So in this context here, Chinese envoy mainly says that maintenance of peace and tranquility which need joint efforts. Okay, that is efforts of both China and India needs for maintaining of this peace and tranquility at this border area. And these border disputes, they can be only resolved through dialogue and negotiations. Okay, so in case of any incidents that happen, then we need to go for timely communications that can be done through military or some diplomatic channels. Okay, we need to avoid any violence whenever there is any incidents that happens. Okay, and this article also says that whenever they are going for any case of incident here that may complicate or escalate situation, so in this condition they need to strengthen confidence building measures also. So whenever we want to go for building of confidence, okay, so there is a need of political will. Political will to resolve this boundary question will be very, very important. So whatever boundary talks that are coming up, whatever they are striving to reach, they need fair, reasonable and also mutually acceptable solutions. And if you see some issues which are talked in this article, so first and foremost thing is India banned more than 200 Chinese apps here, right? So because of this here, Chinese envoy mainly says that need to be withdrawn. And India gave statement that trade and investments could not proceed as normal in light of this border crisis. In border crisis, trade and investment that will not happen as normal times. So because of this article also showed some concerns or some concerns regarding this trade between India and China also. So this is gist of this article, and I want to give you a small homework. Please open your atlas and you have to see where is this LAC which passes, and some areas we need to arrange from north to south and as well as south to north. And now let us see next article. Title says a road map for tolerance. So this article mainly talking about racism. So this racism, it is very important concept, right? So based on race there will be discrimination. For example, we have blacks are present and we have whites. So in we saw there is a racial movement, okay, racial movement, that is mainly discrimination of blacks by whites, okay. So in this context, even now racism which is very much persistent in our society. So this article mainly talking about new form of racism, how it is mainly increasing its base, everything that mainly discussed in this article. So now let us try to understand this article in a great detail. So if you see central theme, it mainly says that racism will not be overcome with mere professions of good faith, but we need to come up with anti-racist actions also. So this article is very important regarding Main's point of view, and now I will try my level best to make you understand this article. So why this racism is in news? So if you see March 21st, which mainly marks International Day for Elimination of Racial Discrimination. So this day, March 21st, that will provide an opportunity. So this opportunity will be helped to explore nuisance causes and as well as consequences of modern racism, and this will also helpful to renew an important commitment to combat discrimination. So you have to remember this March 21st, okay. So this March 21st every year we are celebrating as International Day for Elimination of Racial Discrimination. And this day will provide opportunity that will help to explore what are causes, what are consequences, and how we can renew an important commitment to combat or to eliminate this discrimination here based on race. So if you are talking about this racial discrimination, so whenever we are going for discriminating any person on being race, then it will breach human rights. It is also harmful for human health and also well-beings, and there will be also increased risk of wider disruptions in social cohesion. So these are some impacts of this racial discrimination. And if you see forms of racism, so if you're talking about current forms of racism, they are very complex to understand, and they are mainly covert also. So these recent forms or current forms of racism, they are mainly using internet, okay. So this internet mainly allowed some racist stereotypes that are very much inaccurate. They are mainly spreading some inaccurate information or mass or misinformation or disinformation that is spreading through online. So if you're talking about onset of this pandemic, so because of this pandemic which come into our life, that led to increase in traffic of hate sites. As we know, because of this pandemic we imposed lockdowns. So because of imposition of lockdowns, people used to sit in their homes and they started using internet much more. So because of this, there is rapid spreading of misinformation, disinformation that is seen, and that is further leading to racial discrimination. And there are some specific posts against Asians grew that are by 20% that is seen in US, and even in India and Sri Lanka, many social media groups and as well as some message platforms, they are finally used to call social, economic boycotts on religious minorities, and they are spreading some false information, misinformation, accusing these minorities they are reason for spreading of this virus, okay. And in this pandemic we are using new technology and artificial intelligence that is leading to techno-racism now. So now we are seeing new form of racism, that is techno-racism. We are using technology to spread misinformation, to spread disinformation, to spread false information, okay. That is leading to racism in our society. So if you are talking about some data here, recently a study which published in Lancet, It drew attention regarding social dimension of COVID-19 pandemic, and it also showcased about greater vulnerability of ethnic minorities. So these ethnic minority people, they are mostly disproportionately affected because of this pandemic. And if you're talking about next one, that is WHO, that is World Health Organization. So this World Health Organization also warned dangers of profiling and stigmatizing communities here. So whenever we are going for profiling and as well as stigmatizing communities, that will increase fear, that will delay in detection of cases also. So whenever there is delay in detection of cases, then what happened? There will be rapid spread of this coronavirus cases, right? So WHO also warned that women and as well as girls, they also carry double burden of being exposed to racial and as well as some gender based prejudice. Okay, so in this way, this racial discrimination that mainly deepens and also that fuels inequality in our societies. So because of this, recently United Nations headquarters, which is present in Paris, which hosted one forum, that is Global Forum Against Racial Discrimination, on 22nd March 2021. And this forum gathered policymakers, academicians, and also some partners to initiate a new multi-stakeholder partnership on anti-racism. And this new proposal made a roadmap for tolerance regarding this racial discrimination. And this new proposal, which calls for multi-sectoral effort to tackle this root cause of racism. So this root causes of racism that will be removed from roots mainly through some anti-racist laws, policies and programs. So this editorial mainly talks about some way forward. Here UNESCO's action against racism that can be done through education, sciences, culture, communication. So it is one of important way forward. But this UNESCO also promotes role of education in providing the space for young people also. Further, it will provide space for young people to understand process. And finally, we came up with a new approach to intercultural dialogue and as well as learning and youth and communities. So whenever we are going for equipping generations with these skills, training and as well as learning, etc., then it will eradicate harmful stereotypes and it will foster tolerance in our society against this racism. And because of this, the International Coalition for Inclusive and Sustainable Cities, which provides some additional platform for city level planning and also for lab for good practices to fight against this racism. So this is one of important case study that you can incorporate whenever you are writing mains answer. And finally, racism will not overcome with mere professions of good faith, but we need to come up with anti-racist action. So this anti-racist action that will ensure global culture of tolerance and as well as equality, anti-discrimination that must be built in our society. Just mere professions will not eliminate this racial discrimination. So this is gist of this article. And now let us see next article. So before seeing this article, I want to make a small announcement on this platform. So if you are preparing for UPSC 2022, we came up with one excellent course, that is current affairs package along with mains answer writing practice. So to appear this 2022 UPSC, you need to cover at least 1.5 years current affairs, and this is right time to join this course to cover this 1.5 years current affairs. So why I am focusing on this current affairs? Because 50 to 60% of questions in your prelims or mains or even interview, so you can expect questions from this current affairs. So mastering of current affairs, it is very important to clear UPSC. And if you're talking about this mains answer writing practice, many students who are especially beginners, freshers, they will ignore about this. Finally, they end up in failing in UPSC mains. Okay, mainly to see your name in finalist, you need to focus on this mains answer writing practice on day 1 of your preparation. And we are focusing on exactly how to improve your answer writing skills in this program. If you join this course, we also conduct prelims test, okay, on every Sunday, and we also provide you video solutions. So in this way, this course will be focusing on exactly demand of UPSC. So one thing I want to say finally is, please don't take this course as a choice. Try to join this course as soon as possible. So details of this course are given in description box. Please don't forget to visit that once. And if you want to talk to me, you can talk to me on this number 8074765513. Okay, please note this number. And now let us see next article. Title says a good start. So this article mainly talking about one important policy, that is policy, national policy on rare diseases 2021. So this article will be important regarding polity, which comes under GS paper 2. And you can expect both prelims and also mains based questions regarding this policy. So now let us try to understand this article in a great detail. So this article mainly talking about national policy for rare diseases 2021. Okay, so if you are talking about function of any welfare state, okay, so where is this welfare state which talked about in our constitution? That is in part 4, that is DPSP, directly principles of state policy, right? So whenever any welfare state is present, so what is important function of that welfare state? It needs to take care of every single citizen, right? So every single citizen, irrespective of whether they constitute a critical masses or not, we need to take care of every single citizen. So it is one of important responsibility of our welfare state. So because of this, recently government came up with notification regarding this national policy for rare diseases 2021. So this article mainly says that this policy will be good start and it offers financial support for one-time treatment of about up to 20 lakhs rupees will be provided here. So this policy will also introduce crowdfunding mechanism. It will also create some registry for rare diseases. It will also provide for early detection also. So if you're talking about some facts regarding what is this rare disease. So rare disease, it is mainly defined as disease that infrequently, that means it will not frequently come in so and so population. Okay, so to identify this rare disease, we have 3 markers. So first one is total number of people who are suffering with this disease. Second one is its prevalence, that is epidemiology. Next one is availability or non-availability of treatment options. So these are 3 markers which are included to identify which disease is a rare disease. So even WHO came up with the definition. It mainly says that it defines rare diseases as having a frequency of less than 6.5 to 7 people. So less than 6.5 to 7, then out of 10,000 people who are suffering from this type of disease. And if you see as per estimates or data which mainly says that there are about 7,000 unknown, or we can see there are 7,000 known rare diseases are present, and 30 million people who are present across world who are facing these rare diseases, and 70 million people who are especially from India, okay, they are facing this problem with these rare diseases. And if you see, according to Organization for Rare Disease India, it classifies so and so disease which comes under this rare diseases. So this part will be included or important regarding prelims. So if you see what are those diseases, first one is inherited cancer, autoimmune disorders, congenital malformations, and Hirschsprung disease, and Gaucher disease, cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophies, lysosomal storage disorders. So these are some important diseases which comes under this rare diseases. Okay, so now let us see some key features of this bill. Okay, so if you see this this National Rare Disease Policy 2021, so what are key provisions? So first one is this policy mainly specifies there will be increasing government support for treating these disorders. Okay, it will provide about 15 lakh to 20 lakh of assistance from government. And next one is patient of rare disease, they will be soon eligible for one-time treatment under Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, that is Ayushman Bharat scheme. And if you are talking about beneficiaries, so financial assistance would not be limited to only below poverty line people, but here financial assistance will be extended to 40% of people. So it is mainly says that it is eligible as per 23 norms of Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana for treatment in government training hospitals only. So we can avail this scheme whenever we are joining or we are admitting patient in this government territory hospital only. And next one is policy has categorized rare disease into mainly 3 groups. First one is curative treatment. That means whenever we are giving treatment, there will be cure for disease. And next one is whenever those diseases which require long-term treatment or lifelong treatment. And third one is diseases for which definitive treatment is available here. So these are three important categories which mainly comes under this rare diseases. And if you are talking about issues, so first one is people who are giving care. That is, caregivers mainly says that this doesn't reflect actual cost of this treatment. Okay, so whatever 15 lakhs or 20 lakhs which is given, which is not enough for this surgery or so and so regarding that disease. And next one is expressed concerns about lack of funding support here. So there is no proper funding support. And next one is diseases some or of huge amount of expenditure that is needed. Okay, so because of this, many patients they cannot affordable to this cost. So these are some important issues regarding this policy. And now let us see next article. Title says walk back. So this article mainly talking about H1B visa. So this article will be important regarding GS paper 3 and also GS paper 2 under international relations, and under GS paper 3 it is important regarding economy. So now let us try to understand this article in a great detail. So you can expect both prelims and also mains based questions regarding this topic. So please be focused. So now let us see what is this H1B visa regime. So in 1952, what happened? USA that started expanding its presence mainly in different fields like science, technology, engineering and mathematical disciplines. So in this context, USA mainly felt that they need to hire some quality workers. In return, it could help this country to achieve innovation in these areas at reasonable cost. So whenever Indians who are going to USA and they are working in those areas here, then what happened? So whatever energy, manpower which is required by this company, they will be got, right? So this will also helps to achieve their innovation in these areas. Okay. So because of this, that led to pave a way for introduction of this H1 work visa system. But this visa system that will be subdivided into number of categories. We have H1B visa, H2B visa, L1 visa, O1 visa and E1 visa. So these visas, they are mainly dependent on qualification which is required for which visa. So out of this all, H1B visa which became more popular, relatively better wage when we are comparing with that other visas here. So if you are talking about why these visas are in use. So recently Donald Trump administration came up with US immigration policy. So under this US immigration policy, under this President Donald Trump, so he said that he is going to halt issuance of this non-permanent immigrant work visas offered several types here. So they include mainly some skilled workers, right? And next one is this move aimed at even tightening of immigration policy of USA. So important aim here, it is to stop foreigners workers who are entering into USA, and whatever jobs are present in USA that need to be given to only Americans. Okay, so this is one important idea behind that. So in this context, recently President Joe Biden has allowed Trump era's H1B visa rule to expire. Okay, so it is mainly waiting for expiring of this rule here. So in this way, what is significance? So first important thing that should remember here is whenever there is ending on ban that is seen, that means work visa that could potentially bring relief to large number of Indian nationals, especially we can say IT workers. So for these IT workers, they can easily move to USA and they can do their jobs in USA. And next one is Indian corporations. They are also expected to benefit from this move because they will ensure availability and will also provide some large talent pool to IT, information technology companies of India, and as well as US operations. So in this way, it will benefit both Indian IT companies and also US operations. So this is gist of this article. So I hope it is clear now. And now let us say mains question, today's mains question. So fund support from government is vital for continual treatment of those with rare diseases. Comment. So try to write answer. Answer should not be more than 150 words. So by this we are concluding today. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos. and don't forget to enroll this current affairs package. Okay, thank you so much.